Yo, YouTube, it's your boy Leroy up next on Gang. Bitch, back at it again with another video for y'all today. Man, let's go. A man must hold himself accountable for everything. See, whether it's the way people treat you, you cannot put the blame on others. You have to put the blame for everything upon yourself. See, when a man takes accountability for everything in his life, he understands that he's not giving his power away. Because now he knows there's something within himself that he has to change for the external effects to change. Because once you put the blame upon others, you're taking the power away from yourself. You no longer have the responsibility, therefore you have no change. You have no power over it. You're basically saying you have no control over the situation. As to where once you place the accountability upon yourself, as a man, you now understand that you have power over the situation. You have responsibility over the situation. And you're now cognizant that you've allowed that. You're now cognizant that you've allowed that situation to happen. You've allowed that situation to prosper. Because everything that comes from a person that you attract into your life is from your state of consciousness. So whether that be the way you carry yourself, the way you present yourself, the way you dress, the way you speak, all of those things are factors into what can happen to you. You will be treated a certain way, and that is whose fault? Yours fault, because you have control over that. So once you understand that everything is connected, you understand that everything is your fault. Everything is your responsibility. Everything is in your control at the end of the day. So once a man takes accountability for his emotions, no one else is responsible for your emotions but you. Okay? A person cannot make you mad. You make yourself mad in response to what the person does. You have responsibility over your own emotions, your own actions, your own thoughts, the way people treat you, etc. Okay? This gives the men, the individual, not just the men, the individual, the person, the power back in the situation. And this, for men specifically, is important. I mean, it's important for any individual, but my content is geared towards the men. And this is important for a man. Because as a man, how can you ever expect to be a problem solver if you cannot hold accountability for everything in your life? Think about that. How can you become a problem solver, which is a man's natural tendency, is to solve problems? A man is here to what? Provide, protect, problem solve. That's what we do. That is a man's nature. That is their direct nature. How can you solve any problems without taking accountability? It's going to be very, very hard, because the more you start pointing fingers and putting the blame towards other things and thinking it's that person, it's going to keep coming right back to bite you in the ass. Because that person, it could be that person, it could be this person, it could be anybody. It could be anybody. That can happen with anyone. It could happen anywhere. It can happen any place, anytime. Until you recognize and learn to change something within you, to take accountability for that particular situation and understand that it is your fault and that you have to change something and you have to work on something and you have to do something and recognize something and be aware of something, and then to work on it, work upon it. And that's ultimately what it comes down to, man. Because men that put the blame on others, they will never see success within situations. They may come across success, but they'll always come across problems. And not to say that the men that put accountability upon themselves don't come across problems, but they end up solving those problems. They end up finding those problems. They'll find problems, different problems. They won't come across the same problems if they're able to overcome the problems that they've once gotten already. But those men that don't place accountability upon themselves will have those same reoccurring problems, and they will have trouble solving them. And that's ultimately what it comes down to, guys. Taking control of your life. When you take control of your life, life becomes better because now everything becomes full circle. You start connecting the dots. You start connecting the dots and you start seeing and understanding why things happen the way they happen and why things are the way they are and what to do to correct them. And having that knowledge, having that understanding, that that overcoming of problems, an acknowledgement of oneself, the knowing of oneself, knowing who you were, what you had to become, or who you have to become. It's a great feeling. It can be a great feeling, or it can be something you have to face. It can be something uncomfortable that you have to face. However, the bottom line is a man has to take accountability for their actions in life. But with that being said, man, I'm out. I'll catch y'all next time. Leroy, up next on Gang, baby, bitch. Let's go.